Here is a picture that I drew of Michonne and her two zombies/pets from The Walking Dead. Hope you enjoy it, brothers and sisters, and thanks for looking. One Piece, Chapter 43, Sanji. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the masterfully crafted tale of One Piece. Our last chapter left us with being introduced to Yusaku and Johnny, former pirate hunting brothers with Zoro, pirate bounty hunters. We were left with them needing a cook to have for the ship, for Luffy, Nami, Zoro, and Usopp. Yusaku and Johnny had said, "Hey, listen, we know of this floating restaurant. It's near the Grand Line," and that's where they were headed off to. So this is where this starts up, and shortly after, they are approaching this giant maelstrom on the sea. It's excellent. Everybody is just overwhelmed by how large this ship is. This dining ship. It puts their ship, it dwarfs it in size, and really looks like the size of, I guess, what you would say like an ocean liner or a cruise ship is. And while everybody's going, "Oh my God, look at it's amazing, it's so big, the sails, the this, that," and the Luffy goes, "What a giant fish!" Because on the front of it, there's a decorative giant, fish with its mouth open at the front of it. So we kind of see Luffy's wonderment and I guess in disbelief at things, and you just think, "Oh my God, what's he thinking?" So. But so as they go and they pull up to the ship over here, as they're getting closer to it, they wind up seeing a Navy ship, and we're introduced almost immediately to Lieutenant Iron Fist Fullbody. I remembered the Iron Fist, but for some reason Fullbody I just couldn't remember, even though it's kind of goofy and sounds like Peabody. And he's the minister of the Navy. So, like his name says, he has an iron fist, and he immediately goes and kind of starts some shit with them, saying, "Hey," and he recognizes Yusaku and Johnny, and basically offends them by calling them two-bit pirate hunters, and just puts them down and pretty much demeans them and who they are. So Yusaku and Johnny are like, "Oh, we're gonna have to teach him, mess with us and our reputation, we're gonna go, beat your ass or whatever." So in the next scene, Yusaku and Johnny are just laying bloodied back on the ship, and Luffy's like, "What the hell is wrong with you? Are you guys just weak or what?" And they're like, "No, he's just really good." So they clearly got their ass handed to them. And then also a bunch of wanted posters wind up falling and kind of hitting the deck, and Nami, says, "What the hell?" And Yusaku and Johnny say, "Listen, every time we kill someone, it gets added to the bounty, and these are wanted posters." And so this is kind of the first time that we're introduced to these, which eventually become a big thing, I guess, in this world, as far as how many berries, what the price is on your head based on how much of a criminal you're considered to be. So, and it's also worth noting that Yusaku and Johnny are pretty comical. They wind up calling everybody brother, brother Usopp, brother this. They even call brother Nami, and she gets pissed off about it at the beginning. And then he winds up calling her sister Nami then after a while. So anyway, old Iron Fist over there, who just looks like a little prima donna, a little pretty boy, he goes and somebody calls from within the cabin, a female, and he says, "You're lucky, it's my day off," because she had called him, and he says to them, "This isn't over. If I see you again, I'm going to destroy you and all this. But for right now, I have a dinner date, and basically that's the woman that's calling him." So he goes, and as he walks away, he goes and tells his crew, he says, "Fire upon them, blow them out of the water." So they aim a cannon at him and go to shoot it, and Luffy goes and says, because everybody's shitting the bricks on the show, "Oh my God, they're firing on us." They fire on them. Luffy goes, "Gomu Gomu balloon," right as the cannonball's coming at him, and he deflects it. And we're assuming that he's going to deflect it back at them and start some kind of war. Well, anyway, they go in the next panel. They say, "Yeah, you deflected it, but at the wrong target." And we see that he has deflected it at the ship, at the Baratie, and the giant floating restaurant, and then it's hit one of the windows and obviously caused some damage. So we then are taken into the actual restaurant, and old Iron Fist over there is having dinner with his date. So he starts going and trying to, razzle dazzle her with all this information about the wine, and it's a slightly this, and he uses all these big words, some of them that are made up and everything else. And as the waiter comes by, or who he presumes to be the waiter, he says, "Oh, am I right, my good man, or am I right, waiter?" And this is when we're introduced to Sanji, and Sanji says, "No, you couldn't be further from the truth," and basically more or less says you're an idiot. Everything you said was wrong. And he said, "And furthermore, I'm the assistant cook or the assistant chef. I am, I'm not a waiter. All the waiters jumped ship yesterday." So, so Iron Fist is kind of like puzzled as he goes and walks away, and he's like, "I worked this out with the owner, beforehand." He's basically trying to bullshit his way into this girl's panties by making himself out like this wonderfully educated person. He has such a great palate for wines, and so he tries to make an excuse to kind of get out of it. And then Sanji goes and he goes in the back there, and he's talking to the cook, and we don't see the cook at first. The cook has been wounded, and what winds up happening, what had happened, was that the cook actually it hit right in his kitchen or where he was, because he's all bloodied and damaged and everything. And Sanji says, "Are you sure you're okay?" And he says, "Of course I'm not okay, you fool. But I still need to cook." So we're introduced then to Chef Zeph, the proprietor of the ship, and we notice that he has a peg leg and he's this big braided mustache, and he's actually a really colorful looking character. Then in the next panel, Luffy is brought to him, and they say, we found the perpetrator, and this and that. And Luffy says, "I'm really sorry, that wasn't my intention, to do this." And Luffy goes, "Oh my God, did I blow off your leg?" And he says, no, it's been like that for a while, but I know you did wound me and you damaged and this and that. And he says, "You have no berries, so you're gonna have to work it off." And Luffy says, "Oh, okay, no problem." And he says, "You're gonna have to cook and do dishes and stuff for a year." And Luffy looks at him, he's like, "A whole year? What are you talking about?" So it then goes back out to Iron Fist having dinner with his date, and people in the background saying things like, "He's so charming and he's so handsome," and he's kind of like, he looks to me like he's kind of like this pretty boy figurehead that just sort of has put up this illusion to other people, this false sense of who he is and what he is. And so so the waiter comes back out, or not the waiter, but Sanji comes back out, and then goes and starts to go and poke fun at him again, as he talks about wine and everything like that. He goes and he basically puts down a remark that Iron Fist says, and then he directs his attention directly to the lovely lady, and says how she's a lovely lady, and would you like to try a wine from my private stock, and basically just kind of kind of cock blocks Iron Fist, which I thought was really funny. So Iron Fist gets all pissed off, and then he goes, "What the hell? How come there's a bug in my soup? You serve soup with bugs in it?" And Sanji's talking to himself, and he's thinking, "Oh boy, I'm really going to nail you now. I'm not only going to destroy your reputation, but I'm going to embarrass the hell out of you, So, so he goes, "What does it look like this fly is doing in my soup?" And it shows that there was a fly in there. Clearly that was probably put in there by Iron Fist. And Sanji goes, "Well, it appears that he's doing the backstroke." And just real calm. And I really like this Sanji. I don't know if he's a character that sticks around for a while, but he's funny as hell. And so Iron Fist gets pissed off and just boom, he just smashes the table and everything on it, and he gets up and he's gonna, and "You're gonna insult me and embarrass me," and he's getting all big and loud, and he's gonna threaten Sanji and all this stuff, and even his, the girlfriend or his date is saying, "Just calm down, let it go." And so so in the next scene we see Sanji holding him up like this by his face, and it looks as if he's been beaten and bloodied, and so it looks like he clearly got his ass kicked, without his ass handed to him, without even being able to put up a fight. And Sanji tells him, he says, "We don't waste food here. You could have just taken the bug out and eaten that," and he knows damn well what this guy was trying to do. So it kind of shows the amount of power and force that this Sanji has, and that he's certainly not a person to be trifled with. So I definitely thought it was pretty cool, and liked the chapter. It's kind of getting things moving over here. Also, I hope that I pronounced everything right. It's spelled Baratie, so the Baratie or the Baratie is what this ship was called. At least that's how it was spelled. So let me know in the comments down below, brothers and sisters, if you have anything to say, and certainly if I did mispronounce something, I apologize, or if I missed anything. And throw me a like if you think that I've deserved it. And we will look forward to catching you in the next one. Certainly subscribe if you haven't done so already. And again, we'll see you soon, Nation.
As always, thank you for watching, brothers and sisters. Be sure to subscribe and take a look at some of my other videos. Thanks. See you next time, Nation.